Here are sports cars that are fast. There are sports cars that are expensive. And then there are sports cars that make you smile every single time you drive them. Few cars represent that feeling better than the Triumph TR6. But what if Triumph had never stopped building it? What if this iconic British roadster had evolved naturally through every decade, learning from the past while embracing the future? This isn't simply a redesign. This is an alternate history where the TR6 never died, it simply grew better with every generation. When the original TR6 arrived in 1968, Britain was producing some of the world's most charismatic sports cars. Jaguar had the E-Type. Milligram had the NGB. Lotus built lightweight drivers' cars. And Triumph? Triumph built something wonderfully honest. A long bonnet. Rear-wheel drive. A straight-six engine. A manual gearbox. No unnecessary electronics. No gimmicks. Just a driver, a road, and a machine working together. The TR6 wasn't the fastest sports car. It wasn't the most luxurious. But it had something many cars could never buy. Character. The engine had a distinctive growl. The steering talked back to you. The open roof meant every drive became an experience. Whether cruising through the English countryside or tackling winding mountain roads, the TR6 always reminded you why people fell in love with driving in the first place. Then, during the 1970s, everything changed. Safety regulations tightened. Fuel prices rose. Sports cars became increasingly difficult to justify. And in 1976, production ended. Or, at least, it did in our timeline. Now imagine a different future. Imagine Triumph refusing to abandon one of Britain's greatest automotive icons. Instead of replacing it, they perfected it. The late 1970s introduce improved rust protection and fuel injection. The 1980s bring independent rear suspension, better reliability, and improved aerodynamics while preserving the unmistakable proportions. The 1990s refine the chassis, introduce lightweight aluminium components, and dramatically improve safety without sacrificing the lightweight driving experience. By the early 2000s, electronic stability control quietly works in the background while modern engines become cleaner, smoother, and more efficient. The 2010s introduced digital technology, LED lighting, adaptive suspension, premium interiors. Yet every generation follows one simple philosophy: never stop feeling like a TR6. Then, everything leads to this. The year is 2028. The all-new Triumph TR6. 50 years of uninterrupted evolution. One glance is enough. It still looks unmistakably British. The long bonnet remains. The compact proportions survive. The cabin still sits close to the rear axle. The short overhangs. The muscular rear guards. The unmistakable roadster silhouette. Everything enthusiasts loved is still here. Only now, every line has become sharper, cleaner, more elegant. The classic circular headlights have evolved into beautifully illuminated LED rings with sophisticated adaptive matrix lighting hidden within. The grille remains proudly oval, honoring the original TR6, while active aerodynamic shutters quietly improve cooling and fuel efficiency. The body flows more naturally than ever before. Every panel reflects decades of refinement. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels retro for the sake of nostalgia. This isn't a remake. It's evolution. Walk around the back and the transformation continues. Slim LED tail lights wrap elegantly into the rear guards. Twin polished exhausts hint that this isn't just another economy roadster. It's still built for people who love driving. Lift the bonnet and you'll discover something that perfectly captures the philosophy behind the modern Triumph. A turbocharged 1.6-litre inline-4 working together with a sophisticated 48-volt mild hybrid system. Some enthusiasts might immediately ask, Where's the straight six? The answer is simple. Technology moved forward. The spirit didn't. The new engine produces 285 horsepower and 380 Nm of torque while weighing dramatically less than the original power plant. Less weight means sharper handling, better balance, greater agility. 0 to 100 km/h arrives in only 6.2 seconds. Top speed? An impressive 235 km/h. Fast enough to be genuinely exciting, yet still perfectly usable every single day. Because the TR6 was never about chasing supercars. It was about chasing sunsets. Power still goes exclusively to the rear wheels through a beautifully engineered 6-speed manual gearbox. Because some traditions deserve to survive. Every gear change feels mechanical, deliberate, rewarding. Exactly as a British Roadster should. Step inside and something magical happens. At first glance, it feels wonderfully familiar. Beautiful stitched leather. Real aluminium. Open-pore wood trim. Circular instrument binnacles. Then the screens come alive. The analog gauges quietly transform into a fully digital display inspired by the original Smith's instruments. The infotainment system disappears when not needed, allowing the dashboard to remain clean and timeless. A subtle head-up display projects speed and navigation onto the windscreen without distracting the driver. Modern technology exists. It simply knows when to stay out of the way. Artificial intelligence quietly learns your driving habits. It adjusts throttle response, suspension calibration, regenerative braking, climate control, even the seat position. The longer you own the car, the more it feels like it was built specifically for you. But perhaps the most remarkable achievement isn't technological at all. It's emotional. Imagine someone who owned a TR6 back in 1972. Now imagine them climbing into this 2028 model. The smell of leather. The long bonnet stretching out ahead. The seating position. The manual gearbox. The rear-wheel drive balance. They would instantly feel at home. Now imagine someone who's 25 years old. They've grown up surrounded by SUVs, electric crossovers, and autonomous driving systems. Then they discover this. Suddenly they understand something previous generations have always talked about. Driving isn't simply transportation. It's an experience. It's the sound of the engine echoing through a tunnel. It's changing gears at exactly the right moment. It's taking the long way home because you don't want the drive to end. That's exactly why the 2028 TR6 appeals to both generations. Older enthusiasts don't see a forgotten classic trying to relive the past. They see their youth continuing into the future. Younger enthusiasts don't see an old British sports car. They see something refreshingly different. A machine built for people rather than algorithms. A car designed to create memories rather than simply commute. In an era where almost every performance car looks similar, the Triumph proudly refuses to follow trends. It doesn't need 800 horsepower. It doesn't need massive wings. It doesn't need artificial engine sounds. Its greatest strength has always been simplicity. And perhaps that's why this alternate future feels so believable. Because great design doesn't become outdated. It simply evolves. Maybe that's the greatest compliment you can give any car. If someone walked past this in 2028, they wouldn't ask whether it was old or new. They'd simply stop, smile, and admire it. Because true automotive icons don't belong to one generation. They belong to every generation. So here's the question. If Triumph announced tomorrow that this exact 2028 TR6 was entering production, would you choose it over a Mazda MX-5? A BMW Z4? A Porsche Boxster? Or would this beautifully evolved British Roadster become your dream weekend car? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy seeing legendary cars reimagined for the future, don't forget to subscribe, because there are still many more automotive icons waiting for their second chance.